Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the St. John's Power Hour number 29. And I'm your host, Susan Damiani. I am a graduate of St. John's 1987 CBA, and I'm also the director of gift planning and the director of the St. John's Legacy Society, the McAllen Society. So thank you for joining us today. I am so excited. This month of January is our month of wellness, and we're going to be focusing and exploring movement and dance. And dance is a great passion of mine. So I'm very, very thrilled to introduce a stellar panel that we have today, all wonderful dancers. One of them you may notice because he is a St. John's student, and that's Matthew Kirschenheiter. I got it so well before, didn't I, Matthew? And Matthew's going to be graduating 2021. Congratulations, Matthew. He's getting a degree in childhood education, and just seeing the way he performs, I know he's going to be a wonderful teacher. He's been on the Dean's Honor List for the last 3 years, and he is a member of our President's Society. But the reason how I know Matthew, and maybe if you ever attended a St. John's basketball game, you would see Matthew front and center of our wonderful dance team that are the national champions for 2020. So congratulations with that. And I'm not surprised. Dance team really is phenomenal. So I know we cannot be there in person this year, but hopefully, who knows, maybe we can. If not, I'm sure there's recordings. You have to check out Matthew. He has a great following on social media. Everybody's a fan like me. So thank you and welcome for being with us today. Our next panelist, she's actually related to me. It's my cousin Meredith Amato. I'm very proud of Meredith. She has a great dance background. She worked with Clive Thompson. She studied with them the Graham Modern dance. And she is, I never heard of this, Meredith, an E-R, is it K-Y or R-Y? Oh, sorry. R-Y?
R-Y-T.
Yeah, E-R-Y-T 500 yoga instructor. It sounds really, really impressive. And it combines dance. I'm sorry. That's her yoga, and she's yoga instructor. But also today she's going to give a demonstration of a wonderful movement that I have to say most of the people that I've ever talked to about it don't really know. I noticed it and experienced it at a spa, and then it just so happened that Meredith was teaching it. So, and I've been working out with her virtually every Sunday, and I have to tell you, it's a wonderful form of movement, great on the body, and it's called Nia, and it combines dance, martial arts, and healing arts for a body, mind, emotional, and spiritual experience. And she just became a black belt instructor. Congratulations. And she'll be able to explain a little bit more about Nia if you stay on a little bit longer after this discussion. And then we have the wonderful, my dance instructor, all the way back when I was 7 years old, and she's still dancing, and she's wonderful. Mary Angello, she is the founder and owner and artistic director of Dance Dynamics, which is located in Jackson Heights, Queens. It's been there for 42 years, so that just shows you what a magnificent dance instructor she is. She has trained domestically and abroad, and she's worked with the Royal Academy of London and the Imperial Society of London and ABT. She's worked with choreographers and performers like Savion Glover, Michelle Dorrance, and am I saying his name right? Finis Jhung? Is that how you say it? Okay. So welcome. Welcome.
Thank you, Susan. Love you.
I do. I love you too. And it brings back memories seeing you sitting there in the studio. I love it. It's great. And then last but not least, she's going to be our moderator. And Alex actually is a wonderful neighbor to my mom, her and Anthony. And it just so happened that, Alex is a dance educator for over 25 years. She's been teaching students from preschool to high school all throughout the 5 boroughs. She's currently the teaching artist for New York City Ballet Education Department and the Brooklyn Conservatory of Music's Music Partners Program. She holds a BA in dance and psychology, and she got the BA in dance and psychology at Queens College and her master's in art at Teachers College in Columbia. And I'm sorry, I had to look the other way. Believe it or not, I had plumbers going on in my kitchen and they had to say goodbye to me. Talk about timing. Anyway, so let's dance. So I'm going to turn it over to Alex. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Susan. It is really wonderful to be here today with you and with Meredith and Matt and Mary, who is also my beloved first dance teacher, who is also a true mentor to me. So it's really exciting to be here with you, especially. So anytime I get to talk about dance and be an advocate for dance, I am all in. I am there. So I'm really delighted to be here. And I feel like by the end of the hour, if there's anybody who is joining us today, listening, if you don't already have dance in your life in some way, maybe you'll get some inspiration to get some, to find some. Because I truly believe that if you're not dancing, you are not living your best life. And the fact that this comes under the umbrella of health and wellness, I think speaking about dance is so appropriate and perfect, because dance, in my opinion, is so holistic and so all encompassing that when you're talking about health and wellness, it really kind of checks all the boxes. So I thought we would start with just a mention to what we are all sort of experiencing together right now. The global pandemic, the challenges of COVID-19, which have undoubtedly affected all of us. You know, it literally has upended all of our lives in so many ways on so many different fronts. And for those of us in the dance community, whether you are a dancer or a student or a choreographer or an educator, a patron of the arts, whether you're behind the scenes, maybe you're an administrator for an arts organization, maybe you're behind the scenes in the production side of things. We just, I think when everything came to a screeching halt, it was so stark and so immediate and so devastating for us, because dance is about people. It's about connections. It's about relationships. It's about community. It's about gathering. So that literally stopped so abruptly for all of us. And I think we're all still trying to kind of navigate forward. And we'll talk about that in a little more detail later. But I thought we would really kind of dig into why dance is so beneficial to all of us throughout the ages, beginning with preschool, toddlers, fast forward to young adulthood, fast forward to the senior community. There is literally something for everybody when it comes to dance. I think that dance truly belongs to everybody. It's fundamental. We are born with the impetus to dance in our DNA. And I think when people think about the benefits of dance, we probably immediately think of the physical benefits, and there are so many, right? If you dance just for the health reasons of it, we know that dancing raises the heart rate. It's a cardiovascular workout. There are some forms that are more aerobic than others, but every form of dance is great for your heart. You have the mind-body coordination part of dance. It works your brain just as much as it works your body. You have the accessibility to community. which, strengthens your social ties. It connects you to people's cultures and all the history there. So it really does something for your, your sense of belonging and community and your self-esteem. So, those are just a few things off the top of my head that I think we could all speak to. So maybe we'll go to Meredith. Meredith, do you want to kind of jump on that point?
Absolutely. Thanks, Alexandra. So, yes, taking us through our lives, as you mentioned, it is the most primal sensation. It is the most natural impulse that we have. Any baby, any child you see, music comes on and they move. So it's our birthright to enjoy our physical bodies. And the way we can enjoy them throughout our lives, in childhood, and I'm sure Mary could speak to this clearly, brain development in children, music, learning choreography, discipline, paying attention, moving into adolescence, especially as bodies begin to change, self-esteem kind of gets a little bit wonky. So it's a way back in to feel joyful, to feel expressive, to actually release emotion. I remember if I didn't have dance as a teenager, I don't know what I would have done. It was a really healthy way of moving a lot of energy that can get really stuck and a lot of emotion. And that's the case for us, I believe, through our entire lives. And it's not so much about dance in the sense of, oh, I can put my leg up here and I can do this and that. It's really just about enjoying music and movement, which creates health.
So to that point, somebody that we may or may not be familiar with, the choreographer Martha Graham. She's one of our great modern dance pioneers. And, speaking to the point of dance doesn't have to be about technique. It doesn't have to be about, ability. And even though she's one of our great choreographers, she really spoke to that. Regarding what dance is, just as it relates to our humanity, that it's not about whether you can dance well, it's about the passion behind it. And that's something that we all have. We are all born with that. And even if you feel like you're somebody that maybe, doesn't like to dance because you're not comfortable in your own body or your own skin, connecting to dance more and more often will get you there. It'll get you more comfortable with your own body and your own skin. So that's just something that I wanted to mention. So maybe Mary, you've had so many years of just firsthand information, just watching your students from year to year in your classes over the decades. So, what would you say, to that?
To seeing these children develop, they come in, my little ones, my 3-year-old, they come in, they're a little shy, but once we give them the motivation, the music, they feel that they could move, and we start to teach them learning about their bodies and understanding how each child can help one another. And then they move on, the children, to their adolescent ages where they start to feel emotions and can express themselves, which is wonderful to see. And they find their bodies. They understand when you make a correction, how to do it. And they just want to share this feeling of synchronizing dance with their classmates, develop teamwork, support, dedication, just being there for one another. One child just yesterday was doing point and she fell off of her turn. She fell. All the children ran over to her to hug her. And I thought that was so wonderful, but yet they had to get back to class to learn. But, just that feeling of caring. And that's what happens when you do dance. I just feel that you start to look around you and see there's more than just, this feeling of being together with one another. Alex. That's what I feel. That's,
You know, and you know, on that point, you know, we're looking at what's happening in our country and in our world right now, and you know, we're so kind of in our own bunkers. We're so polarized right now. We are so far apart in so many ways, and I feel like let's get everybody in a dance class. Because there is no better way to find commonality with other people. It's the great leveler, it's the great equalizer. And I mean, if you want to learn about somebody's history, if you want to learn about somebody's culture, if you want to problem solve, if you want to troubleshoot, if you want to team build, I mean, you take a dance class. It's so fundamental, and I don't think we realize all of the benefits that are truly there. And to me, it's much less about grooming the next, you know, generation of performers, but it's about, you know, moving humanity forward. It's about finding your own humanity and connecting with others. And that's what I really feel, especially in these times. That's what dance can bring us. So Matt, maybe you can speak to that. Maybe you can speak to somebody who is so invested in the dance community right now as a performer and a student, and as a soon-to-be educator, which is so wonderful. I'm excited for your students. Maybe you can speak to that from your perspective.
Yes, thank you so much, Jen. I always say, and my dance teachers always used to tell me growing up, that if there's one thing that they want us to learn outside of the class, what want us to learn in the classroom and apply it outside, is the confidence that dance can bring you. And I can honestly say that growing up, we're put in a lot of situations where we're going outside of our comfort zone. We're trying new things. We're pushing ourselves to increase our flexibility, do another turn. We're always pushing ourselves as dancers, and we never actually really acknowledge that. But while we're doing that, we're creating such a strong like armor of confidence. And I can honestly say, especially now that I am student teaching, working in schools, and I'm actually a dance teacher as well during this time, is I can go into any situation because of dance and be confident. And that's the biggest takeaway and the biggest thing that I can tell people that is amazing about dance, is that I'm able to be confident in situations. I'm able to speak in front of people without being afraid. There's just so much going into it. And with everything that's going on in the world, kind of touching upon that, is we're all home right now. We do practices. I actually have practice tonight that is a Zoom practice. Everything is virtual. So it's been really hard as people that are working with one another, that are constantly helping each other, stretching with one another. It's been tough. But what's always there is the love that you have for your art or your passion, and you can feel that through a screen or wherever you are. So it's been really awesome to get to see everyone and to push through on everything, because when we get back to school, that's what we are. We're ambassadors. Dancers are always pushing themselves, always trying to be the best versions of themselves. And I feel like that's what's taught me, especially being a future educator, is to promote that even in the classroom as well, not just in a dance room. So I think that's something that's really important to think about.
Yeah, that is so well said. And you know, I have to echo that, you know, through all my years of teaching. Um, one of my biggest joys is when I see a student who so instantly connects to the fact that they can, you know, they have found a new mode of expression, a new mode of learning. You know, there are some kids that struggle to read or struggle to speak or struggle to write, but you know, movement is so inherent, it's so innate, and a lot of the time students don't know how available that mode of learning and expressing themselves, how available that truly is to them. So you know, as Meredith said earlier, you know, babies and toddlers, it's immediate, it's in their DNA. And as children begin to grow up, and you know, if they're not fortunate enough to have the means to take dance classes and have that outlet. You know, dance is certainly something that needs to be in every public school, in every private school, you know, as part of their curriculum, as part of their daily study. I think it's something that, you know, should be a no-brainer at this point for any, you know, principals or administrators to include dance and all of the arts, quite frankly, in the lives of children in their school days. You know, they spend, you know, more time in school than they do anywhere else, aside from, you know, being at home. And, you know, there's so much going on, all the extracurriculars, you know, kids are very busy. They're much busier than they used to be years ago. And I think, especially now, and I know for myself, during the pandemic, I realize how necessary the arts are, because we are literally starving for them now. And, you know, being forced to kind of face what life has to be like at the moment, I think has really, it's made me just recognize how important dance and the arts are in our daily lives. And, you know, I'm just so glad that we have advocates like ourselves to kind of push that message forward. I think one of the challenges for some people who are not connected to ways to dance and, you know, how they can bring that into our lives. And maybe they need some tools, maybe they need some help with that. And what has been interesting about the pandemic also is that we have figured out ways to make dance happen, even in the comfort of our own homes. So I know that I immediately took advantage of that when, you know, everything happened last spring. And even though, like I said earlier, dance is truly about community, it's about people, it's about connections, and it's about relationships. I think being able to have other ways to bring dance into our lives is really important. So I know that I definitely took advantage of classes online. You can, you know, it could be something as simple as YouTube. There are plenty of free YouTube classes that you can pull up and easily access. You can also pay for a subscription to a particular teacher or artist or organization to engage in classes. So do you guys have any like favorite ways that you've been able to stay engaged and active during this time? Maybe Meredith, you can start with that one.
Sure. Well, I've been teaching pretty much since the beginning of quarantine. And so I've been able to stay connected to my community through Zoom classes. Something that I believe that we can all do, and it's a principle of the Nia Technique that I teach, which was when I found Nia, it was a big switch for me, because coming from a very strict, trained ballet background, modern performance, exterior in, Nia kind of informs movement from the inside out. So it's not about what you look like, it's really about what you feel. And if you don't want to join a dance class, if you're like, I'm not going to sign up for an online thing, you can literally put music on. And one of the principles of Nia is that our bodies explain simply by their design how to use them. So for example, if we have a joint that could roll and move, that is the way we find health in that particular joint. So you can literally put your favorite music on and invite curiosity. Look at each part of your body. You can do this in a chair, you can do this laying down, you can do this standing up, and actually explore each part of your body with fun music and move it in the way it was designed. And you don't need to know any technique. You don't need to know anything. And the way then that we can stay healthy and keep our joints, every part of our body healthy is through exploring, oh gosh, my elbow joint can open and close, my shoulder joint, my hips, my spine, what's available to me today, and play. Music, play, simple, simple. Doesn't need to be a fancy class either. Classes are great for inspiration, but we can all move every day very simply.
Yeah, and to that point, one of the things that is so unique about dance, just the physicality of it, is you are literally moving your body on all of the planes of space. So if you're somebody that likes to jog or cycle or, do the treadmill or the Peloton bike, you're moving mostly on one plane of space. But when you dance, you're moving on all the planes. You're moving all the muscles, you're moving all the joints. So it is truly a holistic physical experience. So that's why I think it may be cut above some of those other workouts. So Matt, what are some of the creative ways that you've had to sort of discover to stay engaged during this past year?
Thank you. It's a great question again. It's definitely been hard, especially being still on the collegiate competitive side, because during quarantine we all love to eat. Everyone has always said my weight, my stamina, everything has gone up. So what we tried to do and what I tried to do was really try to find the balance between workout classes, going on a walk every day, and trying to find dance classes as well. Dance is a huge group of people, and in the collegiate dance world, there was millions of classes that I was able to take from different coaches, from different teams. So that was a really cool experience for me personally because I'm from New York, I'm from Long Island, grew up, I'm at a studio and had the opportunity to still take classes at my home studio via Zoom. But what I found really cool is that the virtual aspect allowed me to learn from people that I really had no business learning from because they are amazing and they're on the other side of the world. Some of the best dancers not only come from New York, but they come from California, Tennessee, Minnesota. You get to learn from so many awesome, technically based dancers via this new virtual world that we're in. So that was something that was really cool to me. Another thing, like I said, is that I found a good balance between YouTube workout videos. Just a simple, it's going to sound so weird, but I'm obsessed with 80s dance music. Typing in 80s dance music arm workout, and there's millions of videos that are free and accessible for everyone. So having that and literally going for a walk every single day allowed me and really the anxiety of what was going on outside the world, just to have that fresh air going for a 30-minute walk every morning to start my day was the perfect way to get me motivated, to get me energized, and to get my body moving, which then led me to do all those different things that I was talking about. So kind of touching upon all of that, having those YouTube dance classes, virtual dance classes through Instagram, Facebook, YouTube again, and just grabbing a friend, wearing a mask, social distancing, and going for a walk, I think was the best thing that got me going as trying to get me in the right mindset to continue with my training.
Yeah, really, really great information. And also to that point, just about the social networking that is going on now. So people have been dancing since the beginning of time, right? All cultures have their own dances. Civilizations have been dancing for so many different reasons since literally the beginning of human evolution. So the reason why dance as a cultural pillar and art form, the reason it was able to evolve and become enriched is because as civilizations advanced, as we were able to travel, as we were able to document, we started to learn about each other's dance forms. And dance forms would start to get mixed and they would start to overlap and they would start to blend and they would start to travel. And that is literally how dance forms got created and codified and shared with everybody in the world. And it is still evolving and it is still growing. And I think because of our social networking now, we're able to push it even further, and we're able to see what's going on in certain parts of the world with certain cultures and certain organizations that we maybe weren't able to before this. So I think there's a lot of reasons why dance could even be pushed more into the forefront and can continue to grow because of our current circumstances. So I find that pretty exciting. I'm really also thinking about the future, what's going to come next, what the next chapter may be for dance. And what I'm really hoping is that, you know, we have all learned some lessons from this past year, and we all have come to some, you know, collective realizations about how much we need each other and how much we need to stay connected to, you know, our loved ones, to our communities, and that we need to keep creating ways to gather, to celebrate, to work together. And I feel like dance, you know, could be more important than ever moving forward. And I'm really hoping that, you know, when we were all sort of looking at our four walls, wondering when we were going to see loved ones again, or whether, you know, we were going to be able to celebrate with families again, whether we were going to be able to, you know, be with our communities again in the ways that, you know, we all hold so dear. You know, dance is a really amazing vehicle, you know, for those things to happen. So, you know, I'm hoping that we really keep that in mind when we are looking forward post-pandemic, and also ways to support our dance community, because we are going to need a lot of support. You know, I don't think any of us are, you know, living in a vacuum or in a bubble. I think the realities of the challenges for dance and, you know, for all of the arts are, you know, we're going to be facing them head on. And I know I'm going to continue advocating for a full comeback. So I'm kind of wondering where your thoughts are regarding our future and what you think some good next steps could be. Maybe Meredith, you want to start with that one?
Sure. So, two things regarding the future and support of dance. I think the benefit, like what Matthew spoke to about being able to connect with teachers and experience things online through dance during this time, is really valuable. We're exposed, we're actually expanding our knowledge base, sort of ironically through a time when we're really sort of confined. So I think that the more people can experience the joy, the magic, the beauty of dance, whether it's Netflix, entertainment, studying with somebody, getting to watch something. Oh, I'd never be able to go and see New York City Ballet in the theater, but oh my gosh, I could watch this video. And then they have a personal experience and there's an emotional connection. And once there's an emotional connection, once somebody has a lived experience, then all of a sudden they're way more likely to be supportive and understand and kind of come from a place of like, hey, this is important, because they've felt it themselves, whether they've taken a class and gotten to try something in the privacy of their own home, which sometimes a person wouldn't go to a studio to take a class because they're like, I'm not going to dance in front of people, but they could take a class and keep their video off if they want and have all of this experience. So moving forward, I think all of these opportunities that quarantine have afforded us is that we are seeking new experiences. And the other piece really quickly moving forward is that something that this pandemic has brought about is the idea of health. And how do we take care of our bodies? And how do we really develop sovereignty, knowing that we know best what is for us? Nobody knows better what's best for my body than me. And dance is a way to experience our entire body in an expressive, emotive, physical way to really get to understand ourselves better and build health in those ways. So for all of those reasons, I feel like there can be a really bright future if we allow ourselves to open up and experience some new things through the pandemic.
Absolutely. I echo every sentence of that. And Mary, I wanted to ask you, you know, just as a business owner, somebody who has been a community in the you've been a staple in the community for decades, and you know, your students, you know, going back 40 something years. Some have been with you for so many years, both physically and, you know, spiritually, carrying their education with you know, around forever, like myself. So, you know, you really, I think you have rose to all of the challenges this past year. You know, my daughter studies with you now, and I've seen how you have, you know, troubleshot everything that came your way this year, and I know it was not easy. So as somebody who, you know, is trying to maintain their business and, you know, with keeping their eye on the challenges that have confronted you, and, you know, pushing forward and planning for the future, you know, what would you say to all that?
Well, I know that we worked hard to make our studio safe for the children. And when with this pandemic, we did a lot of Zooming to have the children bring some kind of normalcy to their life and reaching out to them. And then when we opened in person, the children were so appreciative of being here that I saw an attitude change of the children. You know, those that like to goof off in class, they were really serious about what they were doing now. And there's so much opportunity for us. This box of dancing has just opened and exploded for children trying and seeing what can be done, trying different types of dance. You know, those that couldn't tap maybe now are trying their tap dancing. So I really think the future is there for them, and they just have to reach out, and it's all there on virtual, and which makes it so much easier. So.
Alex, you're on mute. Sorry.
Sorry about that. I was just saying, on a personal note, you know, both of my kids for school, they're at home, they're doing remote learning full time. And when my daughter's dance class at Mary's studio, when she was able to start up again with in-person dance class, I mean, the excitement and, you know, just the relief that she was going to be able to be with her peers, working with other human beings, getting that connection, and getting that sense of, you know, I'm not isolated anymore. I'm with my team. It was such a moment for her, and it was so wonderful that you were able to give her that, because, you know, as everybody knows, the challenges of having to be isolated and alone this past year have really impacted all of us on different levels and different fronts. And, you know, for children especially, socialization is so important and just so critical to everything that kind of comes after it. And having a dance class to, you know, just be yourself in, and be with your peers, and, you know, just have that sense of community with your classmates is so critical, you know, whether you're in school or not. So I just know that that was such a piece of good news when we were able to return to dance dynamics. So, you know, I'm just hoping that all of us in the dance community, and for those of us that support the dance community, that we have sort of a renewed respect and a renewed connection to what this art form can bring to our lives. And I know that the community itself is going to need a lot of support and advocacy. I am hopeful that we will get it. So I think I'm going to end there. And maybe, Matt, is there any final words that you would like to say, as, you know, because you're kind of, you know, you're all encompassing: dancer, student, performer, future educator. So do you want to sort of leave us with a last word?
Totally. I 100% agree with Mary and what she was talking about with, you always hear this phrase as a student, and you'll always say it as a teacher, is dance as though this is your last time, or dance as though you won't get to dance tomorrow. And it's such a strange feeling that that actually happened to so many of us. I left my last basketball game without knowing it was my last basketball game. I went to my last nationals not knowing it was going to be my last nationals, because you have so many ideas, and as dancers we're always looking forward and pushing and always thinking about, oh, what can I do next, what can I do this. So it was a really weird deja vu moment when you thought back to yourself as a student in class thinking that was the last time that I was going to do this or that. And it really gives you that new renowned respect for what you do in your craft, and how you can make yourself better, because you have this vision of yourself and how you want to be. And as soon as it's taken away your training from you of what's normal, it crushes you. And my generation, and a bunch of my peers we have a lot of anxiety. And like, that's kind of what we always talk about, is how we're so anxious. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know the state of the world. And I think having dance during this time, even if it was just for an hour and a half on Zoom, we were able to kind of unplug our brains for like an hour and a half and take away the anxiety that we were feeling. Because kind of like what we talked about, it's not just for physical. I love to dance for my mental health as well, because that's how we express our feelings. That's how we make other people happy. And that's kind of like what I love to do. I love to make other people excited. I love to put myself out there, share stories, share messages. And having that time to take away from your own thoughts and your own self-saboteur, you are able to grow as a person. And that's what I always try to tell people, is that you could take away my medal, you could take away my trophies, you could take away my ring, but you'll never take away how you make somebody feel. And that's how I always want to be. I'll never forget the moments of getting a standing ovation at Madison Square Garden. I'll never forget the moments of people messaging me after a dance and saying, because of you, I was able to do A, B, and C. Those are the things that will never be taken away from you. And that's the power that dance can have. And that's what I always tell my students when they leave a class, is that I don't care if you did a double instead of a triple. As long as you did it the best that you can and you walk out of this room saying, I have no regrets from today, that's what dance should all be about. And that's what I want everyone to leave here knowing, is that you could do anything. It doesn't matter your age, your size, your weight, your gender. Listen, I'm a 6'2", 250-pound man, kind of like what Susan was talking about. If I got $1 for every time somebody told me I should be playing football instead of dance, I would probably be a billionaire. And it always makes me laugh. But it's so true, is that if you put your mind to something and you do it, that's all that matters, because you will inspire people for years to come.
Wow, that was a great closing. We couldn't ask for anything better. Thank you, Matthew. The dance community would be so proud of all of you. You really, if anyone out there, you know, everyone listening today, I'm a fan of dance, so I didn't have to be encouraged to go out there and dance. But certainly after this call, I'm sure you've recruited some new dancers for sure. Because everything you said was so positive and so true. I mean, Matthew, you can hear it in his voice, and certainly when we see you dance, and you know, on the dance team and on the court, it comes out. Trust me, everything you just said, it certainly, and that's why everybody is so drawn to you, because they feel that passion, and they see that you really put everything into, you know, making that dance routine so vibrant, you know, on the court, and it's fabulous. Meredith, you know, you couldn't have said it better. I really feel like that's why I'm so drawn to the Nia, is because I was rehabbing And exactly what she said is, as I was doing these movements, and again, not feeling the pressure and the anxiety to make sure, like if I was in a real formalized, formal dance class, making sure, my feet are pointed, everything that Miss Mary, as we used to call her, is telling me to make sure, holding in my stomach and all that. I don't, obviously you have to do some of that, but I could just freely release everything, like Meredith said, inside of me. And I was seeing what needed work. There was some work to be done because I could see how my body was responding to the movements, but it made me very aware. And as I work with Meredith, I see that I'm getting better and better. So really, I can't promote that so much. Really, it's very, very helpful. And Alex, thank you. You're great in moderating and really explaining, the dance form and how important it has become during this pandemic. And, Mary, just talking about, how the children respond. And we really thank you for offering that service to the community. It's really important. But before we close, I just want to touch upon, because I know everyone's sitting there, and after listening to discussion, if there's something that we can just bring back to the attendees, if say somebody is 50 or 40 or 30 years old or even 70 or 80 years old, what movements do you think are the safest for them or would really help them with their balance and flexibility? Or if someone has had a knee replacement or some back surgery, what would you recommend to be the best forms of dance that they could try out? And thank you, Matt, for mentioning the YouTube. We'll definitely have a follow-up email and send you some information. And Matt, if you could share some of those dance classes that you've taken on YouTube. So I guess I would start with Mary. What would you recommend, Mary, in terms of, I know you teach adult classes. What do you
Yes,
think is really the
well,
best for
now
them?
that I am a senior, I find
Never. You're always Miss Mary to me. That's it, forever.
I find that this aerobics is not good for me at this point. I need yoga where I become more relaxed and learn to really to stretch, the body and to have more control inside, and then to apply it. So the for an older person and for balance and coordination, that's what I really feel would be the better.
And what if somebody, they could even be Matt's age and maybe they had an injury or something and they're rehabbing, or me, my famous, everybody knows. All the society members know about my plantar fasciitis because it's been a battle royale. So, but I'm learning anybody at any age could get this, foot condition. What would you recommend for that?
For any kind of knee injury, I mean, that the doctor, I mean, I don't like just movement of like a slow with bicycle formations,
Mm-hmm.
just I would do very slow though, go into it slowly, any kind of
Alex is raising her hand. Jump right in, Alex.
Well, I was just going to say, if somebody is dealing with an injury, whether they're and it was a trauma or older and it's something chronic, to just get started, if you want to do something where you're not on your feet so much, like yoga, like Pilates, there are a lot of classes now that do a mix of styles. There's classes that incorporate like a beginner ballet bar in their classes. And, one of the things that I think is a real positive about sort of the evolution of dance classes and training is, a good teacher will really have their eye on safety and, correct placement. And, where that wasn't the priority way back when. So, a good teacher will always be concerned about, doing things that are safe
I'm glad you said that because
Yeah.
having the training from Mary, she was always watching us. The class wasn't about her, and having her looking at herself in the mirror, and we just had to follow.
Yeah.
And over the years, classes that I have taken, you go to some of these studios and the instructor is taking the class, and it's like, but you're not supposed to be taking the class. You're supposed to be teaching the class and making sure everyone, I would be there and I would be tapping someone on the shoulder like, wait, you're doing that wrong. I was correcting people because I really didn't want to see them get hurt. And on Saturdays for this month of wellness, we have a woman, Josephine, and she's providing a total body workout for our group, and they love her. And I know why they love her, and I take her classes too, because Josephine, she'll go through the routine with you, and then she'll stop and she'll get really close up to the camera, and she's like a drill sergeant, like, wait, raise that. No, you're using your elbow wrong, and you're going to hurt yourself, or you're going to develop this if you do this. She even tells you what will happen if you continue to use the weights the way you're using them. So that's why I love her, because it goes back to my formative years with Mary, that I know what good teaching, you know, a good teacher and a bad teacher. And the same goes with Meredith too. She really explains everything and how your body is going to react. So I think that's important.
And a good teacher will also anticipate that there are
exactly
all different body types, all different abilities, all different levels, and will provide modifications.
Yeah, and that's what Josephine does every Saturday. So join us Saturday for Josephine's workouts, because she does do that. She shows how you can do it in the chair, and even different ways, she modifies that workout even in the chair and then sitting as well. So it's really good. And you're not going to hurt yourself, because that I'm sure maybe some people are hesitant too, if they start to do some of these dance movements. Obviously, Meredith, we have to turn to you, because I know, your knee in itself is such a great healing class with anyone, especially, like myself, like I said, rehabbing, from an injury. What would you say in terms of Nia versus yoga?
Well, what's fascinating about Nia was created by Debbie Rosas back in the 80s, and she owned one of the largest aerobics chains in California at the time, and kept seeing her instructors and her students get these repetitive stress injuries. So she went on this quest and started studying all different kinds of movement. And fast forward now, we have the Nia Technique, which blends 3 different dance arts. So Isadora Duncan style, modern, and jazz. 3 different martial arts, Tai Chi, Taekwondo, and Aikido. And 3 different healing arts, yoga, the Alexandra Technique, and Feldenkrais. These are all, the whole purpose of Nia is to teach people to feel so that they can heal. Our bodies do not lie. And if we learn, again, going back to that external information versus internal information, great teachers, and I've been blessed to have amazing teachers. And if we don't learn how to listen to our bodies, and that first little twinge or tweak or whatever, because no matter how perfect it is technically, if my hip socket isn't the same as your hip socket and I'm forcing something, it's never going to be sustainable. So through Nia, what we're trying to create is sustainable fitness that you can do forever. And Susan, from taking class, I have teenagers and I have people taking the class in their 80s in a chair in the same class. So it's about being accessible to all bodies and really helping people learn how to tweak movement so that it feels good and it's sustainable. Because unless you're like Matt and going for a medal or going for a performance, or we're not looking for a dance team, we're looking to develop health and sustainability. And I have tons of people in my classes with replacements of all their parts. We can always move. And if we continue to pay attention to what we can do versus like, oh, I used to be able to, or, oh, look at what she can do, or, oh my goodness, we're not going to go further. If we start from where we are in our today body, our now body, we can go so much further without pushing. Because when we push our bodies are going to push back eventually. So there's a way we need to find how to ride an edge and how to be really careful so that we can keep moving, dancing all the way through.
That's great. And the music too, right? Like you said, that adds to it. Like Sunday, you did the whole Prince theme. And it was just so, I love Prince. And it was just so much fun that we were, you're helping your body, but then you're enjoying, music that you love, which, by the way, Matt, I knew I liked you. You're an 80s fan. I love it. So,
And to that point,
nice
Susan,
too. Yeah.
you said something, you were asking about different ages.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing about dance that's different from other types of exercise is that it engages both lobes of the brain. So in children, in older adults, when we're looking at deterioration, when we're looking at building brain health, listening to music, listening to rhythm, getting that coordination, plus artistic expression and creativity, we're creating a link in the brain that other types of exercise just simply don't afford us. They're not offered through those types. So that's another plug for why you should be dancing.
No, it's true. And especially when you age, you have to think about the routines, that are expected in the class. And you don't realize sometimes when you get out of that, you're not used to doing routines and things like that. You're like, oh my God, I have to think, like you said, you're thinking and you're moving, and it's really good. It just stimulates all senses, like you said. So everybody should get out there and dance. So let me see. Does anyone have any questions for anybody? Questions? Or we're all quiet out there, are we? Let's see. Let me just see if we have any questions. No, I don't see any questions. Everybody's quiet today. Well, I think you covered, the gamut and of everything, of all the different types of dance and why movement is important, and to get out there, like Matt said, do the half hour, 30-minute, walk. That's moving everything. But sometimes I find, walking, for me anyway, it just gets to be monotonous. And I find with dance, going into Meredith's class, and again, this is not, purposely pumping up Meredith's Nia business. I'm saying it truthfully, and everybody knows I'm a sincere person. Every week it's different. I don't feel like I'm doing the same thing or going to the same class, and then it starts to get monotonous or in a rut. I get bored very easily. So that's why I think dance has always captured my attention and kept my attention for so long. And it's just, you don't really feel like sometimes you're working out or anything like that. You're just, just enjoying and having fun. And that's important too, because we see with the pandemic, life is short. And like Matt said, you don't know. It could be your, like you said, it was his last, right, Matt? You said you just didn't know that, the national dance team, that was going to be maybe your last one. You didn't know. And so because of that, we have to be in the moment, and we have to have fun and enjoy life. So with that, does anybody else have anything to add before we turn it over to Meredith and she can show us this great Nia that I've been promoting all month long? Anybody want to add anything, Alex, before we close? Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
One thing I wanted to mention before, when we were talking about the physiological benefits of dance that Meredith laid out so clearly, just to add on to that, dance is proven to increase endorphins, which is your feel-good hormone, and proven to decrease cortisol, which is your stress hormone.
Mm-hmm.
So
which makes you gain weight. That's evident, right?
It's bad. Cortisol's
it's
bad.
It is.
So, and your point, Susan, about being in the moment. I can't think of any other activity that puts you in the present tense more than dance does, because of how holistic it is and how all-encompassing it is. You are truly living in the now when you are dancing. You are truly being yourself when you are
Exactly.
dancing. You're not worried about the past. You're not worried about the future. You're just engaging with yourself in life in the present tense. And I can't think of a
Yeah.
better way
And
to
there's
do that than
variety
through
also,
dance.
right? There's variety as well.
Oh my
You know,
goodness. I
cycling
mean,
is cycling.
so
You
much
get on the
variety.
bicycle, and again, I'm not knocking anyone that loves cycling or the spin and all of that, but to me, it's just you know, cycling. Here, it's jazz, it's ballet. You could do hip hop, you know, African music, Nia, yoga. There's how many forms of yoga, right, Meredith? There's like so many different forms of that. Pilates, and you know, there's just so much that you can never get bored. And there's always
And it
different, you know,
and
ways of exploring.
it's easier than ever to get started if you have never taken a class before. I mean, you can do it in the comfort of your own home right now, just to get started, just to
Exactly.
kind of see what's out there.
Yeah, you could test it out, and if it's not right for you for 10 minutes, you can go on to another class. I was so excited. For years, I wanted to take Meredith's class, but she's in New Jersey. I'm like, how am I going to get to New Jersey? Da da da. Da. And then when the virtual came and I saw she was giving virtual classes, I was like, oh, finally, I can take this Nia class. I was so excited because I knew I was going to enjoy it. I really did. So let's get started. Let's check it out. Come on, show your stuff, Meredith.
Oh my goodness, how exciting. So every Nia class has 7 cycles. We step in, we set a focus, an intention. We slowly warm up, we get moving, and then we take it all the way down until we're stepping out at the end. So for today's purposes, let's let the focus of our movement, and this is just going to be a short little sampler. I'll kind of forward through some songs so that you can see how a class, as I mentioned, there are 9 movement forms in this one class. So that gives our bodies a cross training. It gives our brains and our emotions the ability to kind of really see and play with different aspects of our personalities, different energies. Are we moving with agility in martial arts? Are we moving with fluidity? So we're going to kind of go through all of those, and let's let the focus for today be the joy of movement, and not joy in like, yay, someone just gave me a present, but this idea that joy is present always. Even in sorrow, we can contact that piece of ourselves that's always okay. There's always a part that is joyful and grateful. And I think all of us, if we're watching this, have a lot to be joyful and grateful about. So let's let that focus kind of permeate our cells, like right down to a cellular level. And you can stand with me and dance. You can sit with me and dance. This is whatever you're comfortable with. Make the movement yours. Tweak it so that it feels really good for you. Let's play with some different energies. I'm going to stand. If you're standing, I might have to adjust my camera. I hope you can see my whole body. I changed it when I sat down. Step back. I think you can see me. Soft hands and fingers. Really easy. So taking your hands, I'll show you from the side, like you're brushing a space. And circle, breathe. Push. Easy hands. So let yourself come into your body. Whatever is present for you today. Listen to the guitar, the piano. One more time, soft fingers. Move your breath. Make sound. Release tension. Again. Just like you're sitting on the couch at the end of the day, nice sound on your breath. Release your shoulders your body's way. Just find soft movement and don't push this. You're just beginning. Stay in your range of motion. Full breath. Easy shoulders. Moving through your whole body. Fingers like you're playing the harp. Moving the fingers, activating all of the muscles up your arms and into your shoulders. Now easy, right arm, right leg, out to the side, reach, bring it in, and over, again. Everybody sense your side body. And soft shoulders. Other arm, other leg. Feel the roundness in your movement. Shoulders drip. Easy shoulders above you. Hands, let your eyes watch your hands. Look up. Back to that same motion to the side, right side. Let your eyes watch your hand. When you use your eyes to move your head, it opens up your neck safely again. Again, reach. One more time with this pattern. Soft. And left side. Round scoop. Now here, in the feet, in your feet, push, push. So just opening the bottoms of your feet and into your ankles. Into your ankles, start to get curious. How can I move my ankles? Into your knees. Easy movement. Open and close each joint. Into your hips. Relax your jaw. Into your spine. And give your body, in your body's way, a big yawn. So yawn your body. Stretch your skin, stretch your fingertips. Long bones, your body's way. Open up all the tight spaces. One more big yawn, your body's way. If you use sound, ah. Ah. Stay in your body. Move to the next. Energy. Start to, just like what you hear, tap. Tap all over. Wake up your skin. Wake up your digestive organs all through. Like you're showering in taps. This is one of the healthiest things we can do to invigorate our bodies. Wake it all up. And now, ground your feet. Here we go. Palms of the hands, soles of the feet. So really let this movement connect you to this now moment. You're here. You're here. Get ready for some hip bumps right here. Easy hips. Play. Play with hip bumps. Bring your hips up to your armpits. Now get ready for hip circles, playing the harp with the fingers. Go the other direction. Fingers, hips, other direction, and remember, focus on what you can do, what feels good. Take a breath in and exhale forward. Roll it up slow. Remember, you can do all of this in a chair. Now, just give a little. See how my heels are kind of making a little kind of hiccup? Like a little soda bubble underneath. And let your body get a little messy. So with all the information coming at us all the time, our bodies hold it. It's not just in our brains. We need to release. So get a little messy in your body. Let your body move. How does it feel good? Imagine you're getting rid of stuff that you don't need to hold on to anymore. Can you just let it go? 4, 3, 2, play with it. 1, let's go to the next. Okay. I hope this one's loud enough. Here we go. So we have to the count of 4. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. Side and center. So we have 4. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's too loud. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now, personalize this. So side for 4, center for 4. How does your body do it? How about your pelvis? Ba, ba. Is it staccato and sharp? Or is it slow and funky? Ba, ba, ba. Play with depth and height. Maybe you go really low, really high. Beautiful. Now, let's play with some martial arts. Other side. Now, up, down, up. 1, 2, 3. Up, down, up. ha, ha, ha. Arm up, arm down, arm up. Make it sharp. Ha, ha, ha. What do you want to get rid of? Hey, ho, hey. Can you make sound? Hey, ho, hey. Hey, ho, hey. One more time. Hey, ho, hey. Back to the 4. To the side. And center. 4. Your way. Ha, ha, ha. Play. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where is that joy? Can you invite it in to your movement? Ha, ha, ha. Every cell. Taking it in, putting it out. Ha, ha. Here we go. 2 more. Last time. Back to those blocks. Hey, ho, hey. Let's say, hey, ho, hey. When we make sound like that, hey, ho, hey, it actually activates our abdominal muscles. Hey, ho, hey. Get deep. Hey, ho, hey. Get ready. We're going to finish with 4s. To the side. Play. Hey, ho, hey. Here we go. Here we go. Ha, ha. 4, 3, 2, 1. Maybe for you, it's more joyful to make it really tiny with a lot of attitude. Yeah? 4, 3, 2, 1. Maybe you want to exuberantly move your body. Find your way. Your way. Ha. In this technique, we play with different music through the class to class. Play. Let's take a shimmy. Take a hip. Shimmy. Oh, Huckleberry's coming in. He loves this song. Forward. Good. Now when she sings, drop it low, go low, and spin. Down, up, spin. Your way. Down, up, down, up. Maybe you don't turn at all. Sink, rise, spin. Low, up. Now come forward. Take it back. Come forward. Right to your camera. Hello. Again. Oh, more hips. Bring it forward. Last time, drop it low. Turn. Low. Up. Turn something on your body. Low. High. If you really want to move, down. Oh. Low. High. Hips. Come on, show me those come hither fingers. Again. 2 more. One more time, drop it low, make it count. Turn. Drop it low. Turn. Yes, low. Up. Turn. Low. Yes. Find that joy. Play, you deserve it. Low. Up. Okay. What comes next? Oh, let's cool down. Let's cool down. Ah. Let's play with a shape that you might recognize from yoga. Bring it up. Push out. Like you're pushing the walls away. Create resistance. Bring it up. Now stay here and move your hips. Let's push it out again. Ready? Push. And bring it up. Easy hips. Easy hips. Switch feet. Other direction. Push out. And take it up. Now, as you do this, feel length up your spine through the crown of your head. So you're creating more space between each vertebrae in your spine, each vertebra. Hips, hips. Now, one foot, reach out. Bring it up. Gather. Reach. Gather. Let your eyes follow your hand to safely move your neck. Your hips go away from your foot. Reach. Focus on what your body can do. Even find the joy in the tightness in the back of your legs. Because if that's what you're sensing, it means you're giving your body something you haven't given to your body in some time. 2 more like this. And that's a really good thing. 1 more time. Take a balance, easy. Slow kick forward and side. Come balance. If kicking doesn't feel like what's going to work for you today, lift. You can touch, touch, touch. Big sweep, balance. If your foot is off the floor, you can kick. Big sweep. Kick, kick. Balancing quiets our brain. We need to figure out our whole entire brain lights up to make this happen. Remember, this can be tap, 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 sweep, sit, kick or tap. 1 more time. Here. And now, take your knee around to the back and bring it around to the front, to the back. Now, options here. If you're in a chair, you can just slide your foot around, take it to the front. If you really want to play, up and sit, up. And if you feel the strain that's happening in your standing leg, that's building bone density. Let's try the other side. Sweep. Around to the back, around to the front. So this is your body's way, because as long as my hip is receiving this circular motion, it doesn't matter if my foot is up in the sky or if it's on the floor. If you want to really challenge your balance, 2 more, up and around. 1 more time. Open. And come to center. Easy breath. Exhale. Now, your body's way. We finish with contact. You can come all the way to the floor. You can come to sit in a chair. If you're on the floor, or if you're in a chair, hi Huckleberry, you can put your hands, excuse me, on a chair and play with bearing weight. Just make sure the chair doesn't slide. Bearing weight on your arms. What does that feel like? You could do it on a countertop. Yep. And now, coming all the way down or all the way to sit. All the way down. And if you're sitting in a chair, you can do this in the chair. Imagine you're cooking all four sides of your body. So you want time where the front body touches, the side body touches, the back body. If you're sitting upright, imagine the air around you is like the floor. And you're pushing your body. Rolling and pushing. All four sides. Grounding your body. And now come to stillness. Any shape. Whatever feels most comfortable. You may feel a bit warmer. Your breath may be stronger or fuller. Notice your body. You may feel your heart beating. This is all aliveness. Find a sense of gratitude for this miraculous body that has brought you to this day in your life. Our relationship with our own body is the most important relationship we will ever develop. First breath to last breath. And it's a tricky one. Our bodies don't always behave the way we want them to. But if you're going to do work on any relationship, let this one be your priority. Full breath, and in your body's way, in your natural time, move in ways that feel nourishing and soothing as you come all the way up to stand. Take your time. Feel your breath. Even if your muscles feel fatigued, find the pleasure in knowing that you gave them the beautiful gift of movement. Once you're all the way up, feel your feet on the floor, one hand over your heart, the other over your belly. Some people say high heart, low heart. Nia addresses the body, mind, emotions, and spirit. So a breath for the health of our bodies. One hand to your forehead, the other to the back of your head. A breath for the health of your mind. One hand over your throat, the other over your heart. A breath for the health of your emotions. And arms wide. A breath for the health of your spirit. What makes you uniquely you. Full breath. Arms up. And as you step out of this experience, take everything that worked, leave the rest behind, and continue to find joy moment to moment. It's available. It's a choice. Thank you so much.
I'm totally more relaxed now. Had a lot going on today. Plumbers, I'm on the phone, everything, and this is what you need, you know? That was wonderful. Thank you for that treat. We really appreciate it. And I hope everybody watching today and who signs on to check out the recording on our YouTube, I hope you enjoyed that too. That's our present, St. John's, sending you a present today. So I appreciate that. I know Matt and Mary had to jump off as dancers, always moving, had something to do. But I want to thank Meredith and Alex and Mary and Matt for wonderful descriptions of dance and why dance is important and why we should definitely try it out and make it, you know, part of our lives, because it would definitely make us much happier, calmer, right? More focused type of people. And during this pandemic, we certainly need that. So thank you so much. Really, I appreciate it. And hopefully, you know, everyone that's listening, please, as always, let me know what you like. And if you really love the demonstration of Nia, then maybe we can convince Meredith to come back and do some classes with us. And Alex even said that she could teach some classes as well. So if you are interested, let me know, and we can certainly talk to Alex and Meredith a little bit more and figure out how we can do that. But that would be great. So I really was excited today to share my passion of dance. I hope you can see why I am passionate. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next Tuesday, January 26th. It's our last class for the month of wellness, and it's financial well-being, because we all know we need that, helps too, certainly. So thank you again. Have a great, great day. Thank you.